Hey friends, Anatoly Letaev here. I've just landed in Madeira, one of my favorite spots in all of Portugal. Fun fact, for several years now, Madeira has been winning awards as Europe's top travel destination. And I totally get why. Honestly, I'd give Madeira another trophy for its awesome, almost offshore-style tax perks. So, what is Madeira all about? It's a Portuguese archipelago, about a 90-minute flight from Lisbon, right in the heart of the Atlantic. Out of all the islands, only 2 are actually inhabited, and the biggest one is Madeira itself, home to around 250,000 people. By the way, about half the population lives in Madeira's capital, Funchal. The other towns are quite small, usually between 10,000 and 50,000 people. They're scattered all over the island. One cool thing, the whole island is laced with tunnels. Back in the day, driving from one side to the other could take 2 to 3 hours. Now, it's no more than 40 minutes. Madeira has a large international airport. It also boasts 2 well-regarded international schools. And get this, there's even a whole village for digital nomads here, called Ponta do Sol. In this video, I'll take you beyond the usual tourist spots and show you a different side of Madeira. Madeira Island as a place to live. I'd say there are 3 main groups of people who either relocate to Madeira or come for an extended stay, say more than 2 or 3 months. First up, digital nomads. These are mostly couples or families without kids just yet. People who can afford the freedom of working remotely while bouncing between locations. The second group is retirees. Most of them come from the United Kingdom. Interestingly, Brexit gave a big push to this trend. There are also quite a few Germans, French, and a surprisingly large number of Polish expats. There's even a direct flight to Warsaw. Since retirees aren't too concerned about access to schools, they tend to settle all over the island, even in tiny villages. And the healthcare here is excellent. Both public and private options are available. The third group is people who buy a second home here to spend a few months a year. Usually 1, 2, or even 3. There are a lot of them too. They tend to go for the more sought-after areas of Madeira, especially the island's capital. The real estate options here are extensive. Nearly every house or apartment comes with a view, either of the ocean, the mountains, or in many cases, both. Naturally, Madeira sees a huge number of tourists. They're not considered expats or long-term residents, but they are a major force driving the island's economy. In recent years, Madeira has really been marketing itself as a hotspot for digital nomads. On top of that, the island offers a corporate tax rate of just 5%, one of the lowest in Europe. And importantly, Madeira has never appeared on any blacklist. It's a fully recognized European jurisdiction. Right now, I'm at one of the Startup Madeira offices. It's right on the marina in the heart of the city, and the view here is absolutely amazing. There's also a co-working space inside. I'm able to chat with a representative from Startup Madeira, and also with a digital nomad who's been living on the island for a while.
How it works? So, for example, I'm your potential client of Startup Madeira. What can I get? What should I do?
So, Startup Madeira, it is part of the regional government of Madeira. We are under the Secretary of Economy, the regional economy here in Madeira. For that, for us, it's really important to boost up the economy. So anytime that entrepreneurs want to join us, and let's say a local one, it has been happening, they usually come to us with an innovation idea. And either they want to be incubated in our incubation center here in Funchal or in Ribeira Brava. Through that, we can facilitate them, do even consultancy, mentorship, put them in touch with accountant management, lawyers, whatever they need to keep growing. Investments, like, exactly. We do have some partnerships.
Are there any venture capitalists?
One of our partnerships is Portugal Ventures, back in the mainland. And also there are some private investors that whenever there is an opportunity to facilitate the communication between them, we are more than happy to do so. What we also do have is that we run acceleration programs. We do have for the local community. So let's say there is someone in Madeira that has a business idea, but they don't know what exactly to do with it. They can apply to our acceleration program, which is called Start Now. And also we do know that Madeira is a great living hub to test out some ideas. And tourism and travel, of course, is one of those sectors.
Madeira is full of surprises. Stroll an ordinary street and suddenly find a charming hidden courtyard.
Our idea is to keep growing, to keep giving the opportunities for the local entrepreneurs to feel safe that it's okay to take a chance and to know that we will be there to help them. And also for the international entrepreneurs that want to use Madeira in the sense, in a good sense of course, of the word, but to implement their ideas, to get to know, and sometimes to know to establish their company here, hire local talent, and to give it a new approach of what you can do here. And I think that can be quite interesting. And the Digital Nomads Madeira Island definitely will be part of that 5-year project. And the idea was to attract digital nomads to Madeira. We do have hotels in Madeira, but also there are definitely different activities that you can do here. I'm looking at the mountains. If you like cycling, definitely you can enjoy the BTT enduro. And if you like trail running, we do have some trail tracks here in Madeira that you can do. Amazing experience here and get to know and explore the island even better than I do regarding that specific places. We do also have here very specific wine, the Madeira wine, and very red wines and white wines and rosés that are very good. So, and for us it's really important to keep doing it. We want to see the young generation, not only of course, but everyone to have more opportunities, and why not do it on their own product or services and keep giving new our lives and here in Madeira and from Madeira to the world, have the brand of Madeira. And we do have an amazing expat community of Russians here in Madeira. So if you go to places like Caniço, and there is a big community of Russians there, and you would, if you Google or whatever, you would see that many of them run property managements here in Madeira, and they are owned and organized by Russians people.
I really believe your surroundings, where you live and work, should inspire you. And when you're in a place with tons of sunshine, that feels safe and offers so much to do beyond just work, and then you're sitting in an office with an ocean view, using all these cool spaces to get things done, that's really great. Honestly, I didn't expect to find a co-working setup like this, where you can literally work from anywhere. You've got the ocean right next to you, the city center within walking distance. It's just an inspiring place. Madeira has completely surprised me. It's not just mountains, hiking, and the ocean. It's genuinely an amazing spot to come and work for a couple of months. A lot of people end up moving here after just one extended stay. Talking to different startup founders and local incubators, I realized how underrated Madeira still is as a destination for international companies. The climate is fantastic. It's part of Europe. The mentality is easy to connect with, and Portugal ranks as the 3rd safest country in the world. Madeira feels even safer. It's actually one of the safest spots in all of Portugal. I think we'll see a lot more expats moving here in the near future, or at least they definitely should.
Yes, well, there has been a huge investment in terms of infrastructure in Madeira, which has been funded by the Portuguese, the Madeiran authorities, but also by the EU. And this means that we have a recent extended airport, we have a new commercial port, we have a very efficient network of roads in Madeira, and especially there has been a huge investment in terms of telecommunications infrastructure. In fact, Madeira is a hub for international fiber optic cables, and which means that we are now prepared to receive international companies in the telecommunications sector, in the software development areas, and so on.
Okay, what is the portrait of your clients?
We have several types of clients from different types of sectors. I would say that the most common structure in Madeira, the most common type of activity would be the international trading, in which Madeira is very, very interesting. We have companies who use Madeira as a platform to import from outside of the EU, from South America, from South Africa, from Asia, and then use Madeira as the trading platform into the EU markets. We have companies who manage intellectual property structures. We have companies in the ICTs, companies who develop software, who develop apps for several different applications. We have telecommunication companies, and we have companies providing general services such as consulting and marketing and so on. So there is a wide array of activities which can benefit from setting up in Madeira and using Madeira as a platform to do international transactions.
Mm-hmm. What is Madeira offers?
What I think distinguishes Madeira between other jurisdictions is the fact that Madeira is an outermost region of the EU, and this tax regime that we have has been approved by the European Commission on the basis that Madeira does in fact need to diversify its local economy. So it has, I would say, the blessing of the European Commission, which means that abiding and compliant with the EU guidelines and even with the OECD guidelines, and that brings stability to the table, and which is something I think is quite unique that we can offer to our clients and to our investors.
Back when I was in Ukraine and Russia a few years ago, researching this relocation program, I kept running into conflicting information. Things like, it's unclear how it works, or it looks good on paper, but doesn't really work in practice. But that's just not true. It turns out the consultants working there hadn't quite figured out how to navigate all the opportunities Madeira actually offers. That's why people often consider other options like Dubai, Cyprus, Malta, and so on. But I believe it's only a matter of time. I was really curious to find out who's actually using this relocation program. Turns out it's mostly people from European countries, mainly the French, British, and Germans. Whereas in places like Dubai, Cyprus, or Malta, you'll see a much more diverse mix of nationalities. I think that's largely because those places are already well promoted. But honestly, the opportunities here in Madeira are just as strong, that's for sure. And they're easier to understand. For example, Dubai is listed as an offshore zone. Cyprus constantly shifts between being on the gray and blacklist, depending on the country doing the ranking. Madeira isn't on any blacklists. It's a standard European jurisdiction. At the same time, it functions just like any other company setup. What's more, it's surprisingly easy to open a bank account here for your Madeira-based company. Portugal has never been classified as an offshore zone and has never appeared on any blacklist. The banks where you open your accounts are solid, mainstream Portuguese institutions, and their service fees are much lower than what offshore banks usually charge. Honestly, I still can't quite figure out why Madeira hasn't gained more popularity in post-Soviet countries. I really think it's time to organize some info sessions or conferences in Moscow, Kiev, and Altamy. Maybe even a few webinars. If you're interested in Madeira's program too, feel free to leave your questions in the comments, even specific ones. We'll try to answer as many as we can.
Okay, and could you make an example? What kind of businesses from Russia or Ukraine especially came here?
Well, from Ukraine, we have several situations of trading companies who want to access the European Union markets, and they have been using Madeira to do that. Russia is a bit more wide. We have Russian companies which invest in energy. We have Russian companies who use Madeira to make investments into Portuguese-speaking countries in Africa.
I found out that Madeira promote themselves as a digital nomad destination.
Yes.
I would say New Palo Alto, here near the Funchal. So could you explain how it works? So why Madeira promoting this?
Well, what has happened is that there was already an interesting community of digital nomads throughout the world. And what the pandemic has introduced is this view that it's not necessary, perhaps, to work to a fixed working place every day. So people are now more aware that it's possible to work remotely. And what Madeira has done, what the Madeiran authorities has done, in somehow take advantage from that new perspective and to attract professionals, especially in the ICT sector, into Madeira. And what we have to offer are several aspects. One is European Union integration, a mild climate, beautiful scenery, safety, good infrastructure, especially good telecommunication infrastructure. And we have been communicating that to the international markets, and we have been able to attract a significant amount of people, digital nomads, into Madeira to work remotely.
Today, I found out where Madeira's Digital Nomad Village is located, and the island is actively promoting itself in this space. So now, I'm heading there myself, and you'll get a first-hand look at what this place is like today. This is the Digital Nomad Village. It's called Ponta do Sol. In my opinion, it has everything a digital nomad can need. The most important thing is fast internet. The climate here on Madeira is fantastic. There are no extreme temperature changes. We've got cafes lining the waterfront, modern housing, from apartments to beautiful private homes perched right on the cliffs. The real estate here is still more affordable, both for rent and purchase, than in Funchal. And it's just a 25-minute drive to the city center from here. Madeira is crisscrossed with tunnels, so getting from one place to another is super fast. Right now, it's still just a small village, but you can see it's growing. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like 5 years from now.
Hey man, how's it going?
Good. You?
Yeah, good. Pleasure to see you again.
Good to see you.
I am a nomad for 7 years. I never recognized Madeira as a hub. And when I came here, there was no nomads here at all. Everything started on the 1st of February of 2021, when we launched the program with Digital Nomads Madeira and Startup Madeira and the regional government. This was a building that was, actually this is a cultural center of Madeira, and this was built to be a cafe. It was never a cafe in its life, and then they adapted to be an exposition center. It also didn't work very well, and now it's full of life because it's a co-working space, finally. And so it's like the hub for the whole community, which is quite cool.
I was taking a master's degree in the university back home, and then I was writing my thesis. And then I thought, why write my thesis in the dark and the cold when I can write it somewhere a bit more exotic?
Right now I'm working on Google Ads for some of my clients.
Where is your company located?
Actually all over the world, so we're fully remote, so we can work from wherever, which is pretty great actually.
We believe that nomads travel everywhere and we just choose a beautiful place and we go. This is not true for most part. We usually choose communities, places where other nomads are, where we know we have the social infrastructure to actually be happy there. So it's creating this subculture, this sub-community that actually meets around the world while we create the whole nomad economy. So co-living spaces, co-working spaces, events, everything we need as a community, we want to be part of NomadX. Remote workers we can measure. We believe it will be 1/3 of the whole economy. So that's more or less, we believe that the number will settle around the 30% of the whole economy. And this is true for the US, but it will be true for many other places. So we have average stay 2.2 months, which help us understand how long people want to stay. We have around 20,000 digital nomads that already passed by Madeira. Average salary was 65,000 euros, and average spend is around 1,800 euros per month. These are just basic things, including everything. For example, co-living space you can find anywhere between 500 and 1,500. There is prices for everything. Like this is premium. We are in the first part, like the first level of the beach, watching the ocean every day. Of course, you pay for that as well. There are other options that are cheaper, but usually co-living space is more or less the same as renting an apartment. So you get all types of price points for all types of people. I have a small co-living space called Banana House.
So I saw the bananas. Where is the house?
Here, this is the banana house.
Here, banana house. Okay, let's go. Hence, banana house.
7 rooms,
All occupied?
all occupied 100% of the year. So if you want to book here, you have to book with 3 to 4 months before, or else you don't have a room, ever.
If you had like 45 rooms,
They'll all be occupied,
all be occupied.
easy.
Which price?
Here is around 550 to 700.
Per month?
Yeah. You always have to come the full month, meaning the check-in is first of the month, the check-out is the last day of the month. We don't really make a lot of money with it. We just make enough money to keep it going. But it's a way to test the market and provide more accommodation for the village. So we believe we are one of the best communities in the world. We believe that the island is perfect for our community. We really want to, whoever comes here, to feel that this is the best community they ever felt, and to have this community experience in different places.
Today we have a party, right?
We have what? We have a party, big party up there.
Okay.
It's electronic music, very different, nomads, locals. It's really, really cool. Yeah, we usually swim. There is also capoeira today, and then there is a party.
Now, I'm going to speak with a representative from a company that specializes in corporate taxation and business registration here in Madeira. You'll find out whether your business could benefit from the special tax advantages available on the island.
Could you tell us please about the tax opportunities here in Madeira?
Yes, so Madeira has an outermost region of the EU, has been granted a state aid that has been approved and reapproved since more or less the 80s on the taxable profit that they derive from abroad. If you derive profit from Portuguese clients, then the corporate tax rate is the normal one here in Madeira, 14.7%. If you are a shareholder of these companies and you don't reside in Portugal, the additional benefit that you have is the dividends paid out by the Madeira company will be tax-free, unless, of course, you are in a blacklisted jurisdiction. This works really well for consultancy business, for trading operations, for shipping. For cryptocurrency, unfortunately, no, because that would be more or less equivalent to compared to an asset, and any financial activity or insurance activity is a red line with the regime. So you could put it for the simple fact that your corporate...
So what other conditions they should follow?
Yeah, the other conditions, if you want to incorporate in the Madeira International Business Center, is you need to follow economic substance requirement rules, which is you need to at least employ one person that resides here in Madeira, regardless of their nationality. And if you employ between 1 and 5 people, you need to invest 75,000 euros within a 2-year deadline in tangible or intangible assets that can be used for the company to generate profit. If you employ more than 6 people, you don't need this 75k investment. You just need to be sure that according to your taxable profit, so after all tax deductible expenses are computed by the accountant, your taxable profit, if it's up to 2.7 million, roughly, you only need 1 or 2 employees. If you go beyond the 2.7 million, you need an additional employee, and so on. So the more profit you make, the more people you need to get employed. So if we're talking about a big corporation that for the get-go, I'm gonna make more than 20 million, might be looking to employ 60 people. Do you really need 60 people? So
can we put the bullet points on the screen?
Yes.
Like a minimum condition to get this special regime here in Madeira.
Yeah. So the minimum condition is you need to incorporate a company which needs to acquire a special license. So you pay for that license. Once the company incorporated, you have 6 months to get your first employee, and you have 2 years to do this investment if you employ less than 6 people. All the other requirements are the same for a Portuguese company. So accounting requirements are the same as a normal Portuguese company. Filing your taxes, all that is done the same as the Portuguese company. These are the main bullet points, I would say. Here in Portugal, we have stringent KYC rules, so we need to determine the UBOs, and that's another thing that's very important, and that's something that needs to be done.
What is average square meter price?
We have clients, the British expat is spending more than 1 million. For sure. I can tell you also rents in Funchal are gonna spike very, very easily. We have clients already renting for almost 3,000 a month in Funchal, in the very, very city center. If you're talking more about what we call the beach area is, São Martinho, Freguesia de São Martinho, their rents are already in the 1,500 minimum. We have seen examples in the market where they ask 400 a night, so as much as a luxury hotel. Here in Madeira, it really depends on where you're located and the type of building you rented.
So how much could it cost to buy like 1 million for two bedroom, 3 bedroom?
For a 2-bedroom apartment.
For 2-bedroom apartment.
In this building, it will never, right now it won't go below 1 million.
And what prices could I expect in the Digital Village for the renting?
Well, now that they know that digital nomads are coming, they will probably ask you more. But in the countryside, prices are much, much cheaper.
Like twice?
Yeah, more like
more,
yeah.
Most is the real estate property, so plots to build houses. That's where most of our sites are.
And what about apartments, condominiums?
Apartments in the condominiums in that area is not that common, to be quite honest, because in the countryside, if it's not Câmara de Lobos or Santa Cruz, it will be hard to find. You will see refurbishment of old buildings here in Funchal, and you will see new buildings in the beach areas of Funchal, like São Martinho, where they actually intend, the Savoy group intends to build apartments and catered apartments, and that's where the construction will be happening for sure.
I got you. Okay.
And they just like this island lifestyle because they know they have the airport that can take them to any main European capital, and from there.
So it's Warsaw, London, a lot of flights from
Edinburgh, Lisbon. So before COVID, and hopefully it will get again, we had links to Luxembourg, Brussels, Edinburgh, London, Manchester, Bristol. We have now direct flights to Madrid, Faro.
Direct.
There used to be in the past direct. Yes, I'm talking all about direct flights. I think I said Vienna, Paris. We have flights not all year round, but often to Copenhagen, Warsaw, more recently, and Lithuania.
From Vilnius, direct flight?
The popular businesses right now is technical consultancy of whatever kind. So we have management consultants, we have IT consultants. We had a client that his specialty was to design X-ray rooms. That was his consultancy, and he was conducting this through a Madeiran company. Any type of this will work.
One of the coolest things about Madeira is that it's a mountainous island. There are steep slopes everywhere, which means almost every home here comes with a stunning view, either of the oceans or the mountains. Right behind me is a beautiful house that was listed for sale back in May for €1,950,000. We actually found this place through a regular listing and decided to come check it out in person. There's a banana plantation nearby and quite a few plots of land for sale in the area. I think this spot could eventually grow into a really nice little village. There are already a few houses in a similar style built nearby, and it's just a short drive from Funchal, the main city on Madeira. It took us about 20, maybe 25 minutes to get here. So yeah, the infrastructure is pretty close by. We talk about Caribbean citizenship, US investment immigration, and European golden visas. Madeira honestly reminds me more of Vietnam, Thailand, or Bali. Banana plantations, the ocean, lush green fields. It doesn't feel like the Portugal most people imagine. Lisbon, Porto, the Algarve. This is something totally different, but in its own way. Absolutely amazing. Nikita, did you save that number? Would you build yourself a little house here or what? Nice one, go for it.
I'm a security engineer, so I work with software, try to find vulnerabilities in computer programs. And I'm self-employed and I'm also investing. So I'm trading stocks and options, and that's what I do during the day. And I was looking for a place where they have affordable cost of livings, where the weather is nice, where there's a good community. We go out partying. What else do we do? It's mostly hiking, really. For me, one of the most important things is, because of my job, I like a fast internet connection, but that has been really good on the entire island. So wherever I went, the internet was fantastic, so that's really good here. Yeah, everywhere. I compared Madeira to Hawaii, except for the beaches. The beaches are not as nice, but it's mountainous, it has the ocean, it's good for surfing, it has, the people are super nice. I thought about Hawaii when I came here, and Porto Santo is obviously more beachy, has more the sandy beaches. But compared to Miami, it's very different. Miami is all flat, it's all straight, streets are perpendicular. Here everything is convoluted and tight and small.
Madeira. Would I pick this place to settle down? That's actually a great question. One I've asked myself. I think yes, I would, if I didn't have a family. And the second thing, if Madeira were just a little closer to the mainland, or if I didn't need to fly so much to get places. So, yeah, these are the two biggest factors. I mean, sure, there are options here for families with kids. But then again, why not? Why wouldn't I choose it even with the family? Maybe I would after all. Good question, honestly. I'm still figuring that out. Would I settle down in Madeira? Like, really? Probably the biggest reason I might not pick Madeira is this. And to get pretty much anywhere else, you've got to take a connecting flight. I often have to fly around Europe, especially to Russia and Ukraine. And from here, there are no direct flights. Sure, Madeira has decent connections through Lisbon Airport. You can reach pretty much any city from there. I've actually lived on an island before in Brazil, so I know the drill. But it does take time. Planning the connections, dealing with layovers. Sometimes you even have to spend the night somewhere just to catch your next flight. It gets tiring, especially if you're flying once or twice a month. Honestly, it's not convenient. So to sum it up, it's great that Madeira is relatively close to Lisbon. It's easy to get here, and it's a perfect spot for a 2 to 3 week trip. But for now, I'm not quite ready to settle here full time. Of course, everyone's experience is different. If you're thinking about trying life on Madeira for yourself, check out the links in the description below. I've put together a bunch of useful info about the island, the local expat community, and the immigration paths that most digital nomads go for. That's it for today. I hope you found this video helpful. You know the deal. Likes, links, and subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you in Portugal.